I want to talk to you about something. I'm firing hot, Bill. I got into a fight last night at a party. We went to some a friend's house, and we got into a disagreement about raising children. And so,
ooh, you never bring that up, man. That's like bringing up politics or religion.
No, but I was on the. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
All right. So what was this person's ideas about raising kids?
In essence, they were you give the kid the tools to operate in society, and if the kid, and that's the parenting you do, and you can't go beyond that. And I was saying, yeah, but if there are influences outside of those tools, meaning say there's a parent that says, hey, all the kids can come to my house and drink. Well, I go, well, that parent is a piece of that shouldn't be allowed. And then I say we need to kick that parent, get that parent. We need to fix that parent because that parent's undermining all these tools I taught my kid. And the argument at hand, and I should gloss over it because I was fucking lit.
What were they saying about the parent, the hypothetical person letting your kids drink?
You can't do it. You can't. There's nothing you can do about that, and you got to understand that is part of when you give your kid the tools. That is part of the negotiation.
I have to admit, that's exactly what I thought. It's like this parent, unfortunately, is an obstacle. As you've prepared your kid to deal with other kids, you maybe you need to add to your game that they got to, the parent that's the cool parent is not cool.
It's not cool. Like, I was arguing last night. I never thought it was cool when I was in high school. Like when the mom said, if you guys want to drink, do it at our house. It wasn't fun if there were never chicks there. There was it was just like, oh great.
I was happy that they said it, but I knew it was wrong. And I would always look at my buddy who's, if their parent or, friend or whatever, and I would look at them and be like, now the pieces are starting to fit together.
Yeah, right? Like there was something, I remember watching this kid light a cigarette in 9th grade in front of his parents. He was like, hey, can I get a light? And I remember being in his house thinking it was a joke, right? Because some kids were funny as fuck.
Right.
Like the Quinn family was an Irish Catholic family in Tampa, like 5 boys, 1 girl, and they were hilarious. Like when you'd walk in and immediately they go, hey, if you want something out of my refrigerator, just ask my mom. Mom, Bert's afraid to ask. And you'd be like, I never said that. And they were just a funny fucking family. And so I remember this kid lit a cigarette, and I was in 9th grade, and I was like, all I could think was, this isn't going to turn out well for you. Like,
oh yeah, no, that kid's done.
He is done.
Any parent that is doing that, I think it's if you're not just a straight up moron, it's a low self-esteem thing. It's an insecure thing where you can't go through those years where when your kid gets to a certain age and thinks they know everything, which is around 11 or 12, if I remember how I went through that phase, you can't be their buddy during that time. You have to plow through that and just understand this. All right, the kid's going to hate me for the next 6 to 8 years, 7, 8 years or whatever. And hopefully in their 20s, if I did my job, they're going to be like, yeah, I was an idiot,
Yeah.
Or maybe some of them, they don't learn until they have a kid. They're like, oh shit. You kind of have to have that feeling on some level, I think, maybe have a kid to understand of like, oh my God, if this goes off the rails, this is on me.
Yeah, it's interesting to me because
I just felt like I started to make a point that was like the worst fucking thing. I started big. I felt there was momentum and I just slid back down the hill on that statement.
What I find interesting is that what upset me last night was 2 things. This is hardcore, like probably more information than I should share. But I woke up this morning thinking my wife finds it easier to silence me than to be on my team in the argument. Like she doesn't want the argument to happen at all, but it's already happened. So she knows she has more control silencing me than she does on my side. And I think and that was the first thing. And that's where I brought that up.
So at the party, you wanted your wife
to have my fucking back.
You wanted to tag and have Tony Gurria come over, right?
Yeah, and she was like, you're talking really loud. And I was like, that's how you fucking,
Oh, she's probably right, but I can't stand that. I hate when there's the person when you're getting into it with somebody else, and they want to get into it with you.
Yeah.
And you're both up here, and then someone just comes in like, guys, stop it.
Yeah.
And all I think then is what Brad Pitt did in that last fucking movie where he's slamming the fucking head off the mantle there. And I know that's wrong, obviously, but and I hate that we live in a world that I had to let people know now that I know that's wrong. Obviously, that's not something I want. But I hate the peacemaker when I'm getting into an argument because I actually enjoy a good argument.
Yeah. Oh, this argument was a full-rounded, fun argument. And by the way, I texted the dude this morning, and I said, sorry. Like, I texted the group. I said, sorry that – I said, thank you for last night. I'm sorry my wife got drunk and argumentative. It'll never happen again. And then he wrote back immediately, do it again tonight. And I was like, see, that's the kind of guy I like. It was like, yes. He's like, I'm not done. If you're not done, we can finish this.
Yeah, and also I'm not carrying this into the next day.
I didn't wake up with negative energy. I love this dude. So one of my best.
He didn't do what the Beatles did, where they went home and then they trashed their buddy, and then eventually they got sick of them bitching, and then they're just like, well, why don't you just quit the band? I think that's what happened. All those years of Yoko being blamed or whatever, I just think that the wives got sick of them complaining about each other.
Just quit the fucking band. Enough.
If you're this unhappy. And then one of them probably said, I think you're probably just afraid to quit it. And then they were backed into a corner. I think the only self-help book back then was How to Make Friends and Influence People or something like that. There was like one or two of them.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the tools.
My wife deals with me the same way she deals with our dog with a strange dog. You can't tell whose dog started it, right? Our dog is sitting there. You can't tell whose dog started it, but my wife disciplines our dog regardless. Hey, no. And the dog's like, the dog came up on me and growled. Like, what are you doing? I'm protecting myself. I've never been aggressive my entire fucking life. But and then all I could think was, is there ever a world where my wife gets into an argument and I don't get behind my wife and have her back? And I just go, hey, Leanne, you're raising your voice.
Oh, my God. I didn't even think of that. Oh, my God. You'd have to be, they'd have to be getting really like alley cat level shit for you to step in. I don't know, my experience with them at some point, even if you were 100% in the right, you're out in front of that house, she's crying and you're saying, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it ends.
My wife does not have the capability to, in the moment, admit she's wrong. Like, in the moment, it is heels dug in. Not a bad thing. Nothing wrong with that. Just one of those types of people.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that too. So.
Yeah. I'm actually, I can hear someone's point in an argument, and I can actually go, okay, I'm wrong. You're right. I'm wrong. You're right.
I, for the most part, hear that voice way in the back of my head. Going, Phil, don't do this. And then me is just, I said, sit down back there. And I just keep going. And I think at this point, I'm 52. I don't think I'm ever going to conquer that. So
yeah,
I think I'm just going to fucking be who I am. By the way, and I'm going to go into this in detail on my podcast tomorrow. You have to watch. There's a documentary on Netflix that you just have to watch.
What is it? I'm dying for this shit.
It's David Foster. He's this legendary,
writer,
producer.
Oh, no. You know who I'm thinking of is David Foster Wallace.
Do you know he was my teacher when I was in college?
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, and I don't read books, so I know everybody's just like, oh, my God. And I go, I know.
Wait, he was your teacher?
I remember I had he taught at like Emerson for like a semester or two. And I remember I turned in a paper doing like a book report style thing. And he wrote in the column in the first paragraph, he wrote in red ink, he wrote, dude, if you're doing a book report, it's probably a good idea to not spell the lead character's name wrong. And he threw an F-bomb in there. To not fucking... He still gave me like a B, though. He was cool as shit.
That's so fucking amazing, Bill. That guy's a legend.
What's fucking tragic is I haven't read any of his work.
Confederacy of Dunces is a fucking legit... I haven't read it.
Confederacy of Dunces? He didn't write that.
Yeah, didn't he?
No.
No, not... Wait, what did he write? What did he write, Andrew?
Confederacy of Dunces. That book's like 150 years old.
He wrote Infinite Jest. That's just probably...
Infinite Jest? Wait, who wrote Confederacy of Dunces?
Alexander Dumas. No, I don't know.
Infinite Jest was the one I was thinking of, but I said Confederacy of Dunces.
I don't think you know who he is
John
either.
Kennedy Toole wrote it. And yeah.
Infinite Jest. Oh, I saw the movie where Jason, what's his name, played him.
Statham?
No, Jason. Come on, Andrew, hop on this. Help me out. I needed you last night at the party.
Bittner from Shadows Falls. Jason Bittner.
No.
What movie are you talking about?
The one about
Infinite Jest?
No, the guy from How I Met Your Mom. 10 Things I Met Your Mom About.
Oh, Doogie Howser.
No, the other dude, the tall dude who showed his dick.
Jason Segel.
Jason Segel, yeah.
That was Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Okay.
Anyways,
it's not David Foster Wallace. It's just David Foster.
Oh, okay.
This documentary. Dude, this guy, this guy's ego, man, it was like if Ron Burgundy was a real person and he wasn't joking. I don't even know how to describe. It was like one of the greatest accidental comedies. Like, remember Grizzly Man? Other than the fact he gets killed by the bear, was just a guy. It was a guy who was gay, who couldn't deal with it. It was actually tragic. He should have just been able to be who he was. But just, when he's sitting out there going like, but I like pussy. When he just walking the fucking woods.
Yeah.
It's like that, dude. And he has surrounded himself with all of these sycophants who just, you can just see it. Anybody who doesn't appease his ego is just cut out. And everybody's just going like, thank God you're writing a show on Broadway. It's time, David. What have you been waiting for? And my favorite thing was this drummer goes like, he's the greatest keyboard player I have ever heard in my life. And I've played with Herbie Hancock, dude. Okay, and then they cut to the guy, and he takes the balls out of Chicago. He removes their horn section, and then you got Peter Cetera going, I am the man who will fight for your honor. And I'm thinking, like, that's better than bow, 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 bip, bow, bow, get the fuck. Herbie Hancock play with Miles Davis. You fucking writing the 80s Phil Collins music over here. Dude, you got to see this thing. And he's fucking going like, and then Barbra Streisand, she wanted an album with no drums, no bass, no guitar, just keyboards. No, just synth. And I have to admit, I killed it. And he's not joking. And then the saddest part is his kids come on, and you can tell the guy, he's a horrible dad. He's even saying I was a horrible dad. And even then, they're defending him. Really? Going like, he took off when I was 6 minutes old, but he did the best he could. It was... the guy's obviously super talented and all of that type of shit, but the game within the game is just watching this fucking guy. The stories he tells, it was fucking amazing. And my mom, when I was a little kid, was at the piano and she hit a chord and I said, that's an E. And she said, what? And I said, that's an E. And then she called my dad and my dad said, my God, he has perfect pitch. And what was crazy is he has like fucking 4 or 5 sisters, and the mom would feed them porridge like a fucking like a goddamn one of those nursery rhymes, and she'd give him bacon and eggs with toast every morning. And you go back to the parents that let the kids drink and that type of shit, you see that, you go, oh, that's where it started. I mean, it's fucking, just the picture alone, dude. The picture to promote it is him sitting there smiling with like fucking 400 Emmys or Grammys next to him. And he's just sitting there like, I mean, this is what I do.